It was 7 in the morning when I heard the knock. I opened the door to see my sister standing there, bags in hand, eyes shining with that familiar entitlement. "I'll live here," she said flatly, brushing past me like she already owned the place. A minute later, my mother's voice came through the phone, sharp and rehearsed. "We're doubling your rent to cover expenses." When I said I'd move out, she laughed. They all laughed. I could hear my sister in the background, my father's chuckle echoing faintly. They really thought they had me cornered, that I'd cave, swallow my pride, and stay under their thumb just to keep a roof over my head. But they underestimated me. I used to believe family was safe ground, that blood meant loyalty, but I've learned it can cut deeper than any stranger ever could. I was the one who paid rent on time, fixed the leaks, replaced the blinds. I kept that apartment standing. My sister, on the other hand, floated from job to job, always cushioned by our parents' sympathy. "She's just figuring things out," they'd say. And I wanted to believe them. Maybe because if she was just lost, there was hope she'd find her way someday. But the morning she showed up at my door declaring herself my roommate, I finally saw the truth. She wasn't lost. She was opportunistic. And my parents weren't fooled, they were helping her. The signs had been there all along. The little digs, my mom asking, "Do you really need all that space for yourself?" My dad reminding me, "Family helps family." At first I ignored it, but the comments came more often. Then the surprise visits, my sister trailing behind, eyeing my apartment like a vulture sizing up a meal. The betrayal didn't happen in one blow. It crept in slowly, like a rope tightening around my neck. By the time I realized, they were already pulling it tight. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I just said, "Fine, I'll move." I could practically hear the relief in their voices. They thought they'd won, that I was backing down. But what I was really doing was preparing. My plan didn't need yelling or drama. It needed patience and silence. Every night after work, I packed my things a little at a time, quietly. No announcements, no goodbyes. And when the last of my personal things were gone, I went back, not for clothes or books, but for everything else. The furniture, the appliances, the rug I bought for the living room, the curtains I hung, the table I built with my own blistered hands. One by one, I took it all. By the time I was done, the apartment was empty, echoing and hollow. When my family showed up, ready to celebrate their victory, they opened the door to a shell. No sofa, no bed, no microwave, no lamps, just bare walls and a cold floor. My sister's scream tore through the silence. "What did you do?" I stood in the doorway, keys dangling from my finger. "I took what's mine." My mother stammered. "You can't." I smiled. "I paid for every bit of it, every chair, every fork, every stitch of fabric. The rent you doubled wasn't for me, it was for you. Consider it reimbursement." I didn't wait for an answer. I dropped the keys into my father's stunned hand, turned, and walked out. Behind me, chaos erupted, shouting, blame, demands, but I didn't feel any of it, just a calm, quiet satisfaction. My move had been clean, deliberate, final. Of course, they tried to twist it after that. Calls, texts, guilt-laced threats. "You're selfish. You abandoned your family." I ignored every word. What they didn't know was that I'd already found a new place. Smaller, yes, but mine, paid for with my money, untouched by their control. I filled it with everything I'd taken. Each piece wasn't a reminder of loss. It was proof of freedom. A week later, my sister showed up again, shaking with rage. "You ruined everything. How could you leave us with nothing?" I looked at her, really looked. The woman who'd always carried herself like a princess now stood stripped of her illusions. "You ruined yourself," I said quietly. "I just stopped funding your comfort." She opened her mouth, but no sound came out. For the first time, she understood what dependence really felt like. And for the first time, I felt no guilt. They wanted me to bend under the weight of obligation and blood, but I didn't. Instead, I gave them what they asked for, space. Only, I left them with nothing to fill it. Now, when I walk into my apartment, I breathe easily. The furniture sits where I placed it. The silence isn't empty, it's peaceful. Mine. I think back to that morning, the knock, the laughter, their arrogance, and I smile. They thought they'd trapped me. But all they did was hand me the perfect reason to leave and take everything I'd earned with me. In the end, revenge wasn't loud. It wasn't fire or fury. It was subtraction, the quiet, complete removal of myself and everything I ever gave.